Good morning everyone. In today's lecture we are going to learn about phanerogams. In previous lecture under the introduction we have learned about introduction to plant diversity and another part of that is pteridophytes diversity with respect to sporophyte, gametophyte, reproduction and different life forms of pteridophytes. In today's lecture we are going to cover about phanerogams and two groups of different plants, that is Gymnosperms and Angiosperms, with reference to vascular plants, that we have to cover in this chapter, in this lecture. So let us begin with the understanding of phanerogams. The term phanerogam is originated from ancient Greek from two different words. The first word is there, that is phaneros, which means visible, you can see them, and the another word is there, that is gameo or gamos, and actual English meaning of this gameo or gamos is to marry or union or gametes. So when we pronounce this word together it becomes phanerogam in Greek language, but when we see their meaning it becomes visible union or visible gametes, or the gametes are visible or to marry or their union is visible. In simple words we can say that angiosperm flowers which are producing androecium and gynecium, that we can easily see without dissecting the flower. So such plants are called as flowering plants in simple terms, and in Greek term we can call, that is phanerogams. Phanerogams are plants that have special structures for reproduction and generate seeds. Phanerogams are flowering and seed bearing plants. So very simple, phanerogams are flowering plants and seed bearing plants. Now we will learn about different characteristics of phanerogams. They have well differentiated plants or plant parts, that is plant body is divided into distinct root, shoot, that is stem, and leaves. These are multicellular, eukaryotic and chlorophyll containing plants. Due to presence of chlorophylls we can call them autotrophic mode of nutrition. Here it is mentioned these are photoautotrophic and produce own food by the process of photosynthesis. These are flowering plants. These have vascular system, that is xylem and phloem tissues. Actually in phanerogams the reproductive organs are found in flowers, and these are visible, as I already told you that androecium and gynecium are the reproductive parts and which are easily visible. We need not to dissect them to see, like that of a cryptogams, where gametes are actually hidden, and hence these plants are called as cryptogams. Here gametes are visible, hence this group of plant is called as phanerogams. The life cycle of phanerogams is completed in two generations. The dominant generation is sporophytic generation, and the small part of this generation, that is gametophytic generation also, but these are alternating with each other. The dominant phase is sporophytic generation and small phase is gametophytic generation. So gametophytic generation follows sporophytic generation and sporophytic generation follows gametophytic generation. So this is also known as alternation of generation. The plant body is sporophytic in nature and it is always diploid. The gametophytic phase is much reduced in phanerogams. So gametophytic phase is much reduced, small time span, but sporophytic generation, this is biggest lifespan, and due to this biggest lifespan, this sporophytic generation is called as a dominant generation, and plant body itself is called as sporophyte. Then let's come to the point of classification of phanerogams. Phanerogams are classified into two groups, such as first group is gymnosperms and another group is angiosperms. Here, what gymnosperms are? Gymnosperms are naked seeded plants and angiosperms are covered seeded plants. In gymnosperm, you can see only the seeds, but fruit is completely absent. But in all angiosperms, you can see their seeds are covered with the fruits. For example, mango, where seed is covered with the fruit. So many such kind of seeds you can see which are covered with the fruits, and these all kind of plants included under the name, under the term, that is angiosperms. Now let's begin with the gymnosperms and their general characters. The word gymnosperm is made from two Greek words. First word is gymno, which means naked, and the another word is there sperma, which means seed. So in simple way we can say that gymnosperms are naked seeded plants. Here it is mentioned, gymnosperms are naked seed containing plants. These are called primitive seed plants. The seeds are found exposed to the environment. Why these seeds are found exposed to the environment? Because fruit is completely absent, so that seeds are not covered with anything. They are directly exposed to the environment, and somewhere cones also bears the seeds. For example, you can see the megasporophyll of cycas, where after fertilization, at the place of megaspore, there are present seeds of the cycas. These do not possess fruits. These lack flowers. Actually, instead of flowers, there are cones, and these cones are actually producing male and female reproductive structures. So even if we say that they lack flowers, but reproductive parts are visible, and hence they are considered as phanerogams. Remember, this is very important point. These are woody and perennial trees. Why these are woody? Because the shoot, the plant body is woody in nature, and they are perennial, means what? Their life cycle is very prolonged, very long time span is there in their life cycle. They grow near about, some plants they are short lived, but that short span means hundreds of years, and they even can grow for thousands of years. You can take example of Sequoia sempervirens. Some plants are thousands of years old, so time span is big, and hence they are called as perennial trees. In general, they have taproot system. Taproot system means what? The roots are growing very deep into the soil, and such roots are called as taproots. On the other hand, adventitious roots are also there, but not in gymnosperms. Adventitious roots are remaining in upper surface of soil, where plant can easily be uprooted. But in gymnosperm it is not so. In gymnosperm there are taproots which are growing very deep, because if plant is growing around 4 to 500 feet in height, then it need roots which are growing very deep in soil, so that they can withstand, so that they only get anchorage and support. Otherwise, if they would have been adventitious, gymnosperm would have been collapsed with small cyclone. These include evergreen trees such as cycas, pinus, and nitum. These are heterosporous and produce microspores and megaspores. As you seen in the last lecture about pteridophytes. Microspores are small male reproductive spores. Megaspores are large female reproductive spores, and all gymnosperms are heterosporous. Microspores are found inside microsporangia on microsporophyll, while megaspores are found inside megasporangia on megasporophyll. Microsporophyll male, megasporophyll female. In gymnosperms, the endosperms are either haploid or absent. Endosperm in gymnosperm is haploid. Why? Because nucellus is a mother tissue and which is developed without involvement of any other gamete. Actually, it is maternal tissue, and due to not involvement of paternal tissue, it remains haploid. And nucellus itself is endosperm, or nucellus itself is acting as endosperm of gymnosperms. Hence, it is haploid. And why it is called absent? When this endosperm is completely used by developing embryo, then it do not remain as it is. It completely get utilized. So, in such cases, endosperm is absent. Since gymnosperms are woody, these are economically and ecologically valuable and important. Economically important because of hard and highest quality of wood, but as they are going to extinct in the days to come, they are facing the threat of extinction, so that this type of economical importance we should not consider, but instead that we have to consider that ecologically valuable, ecologically important because of their height. It can check the speed of wind. Because of their longest lifespan, it can stop, it can check the weathering of soil. It can bind soil particles together. So this is important ecological point of gymnosperms that we must consider. Here let's see the diversity of gymnosperms. This plant is cycas, where the stem is small, and here you can see the compound leaves. Another example is there, that is pinus. Actually the shape of this plant is conical like, and their leaves are needle like. They are very small. These plants are growing in high altitude and high rainfall places. In India, these plants are primarily grown in areas of Jammu and Kashmir, then Kulu, Manali and Himachal Pradesh. Due to snowfall, these leaves are needle-like, and if snow is remaining embedded there, there is a threat with respect to its physiological requirements, so that mostly the shape of this is conical, so that the snow can slide down and these plants can protect themselves. And another example is there, that is called as a nitum. This is actually a female plant of nitum. Here you can see the female cone. So different diversity. This is shrub, this is tree, and this is woody climber. So different kind of habits you can see in gymnosperms. Now we'll go to the next part, that is angiosperms. The word angiosperm is made from two words. First word is angion, which means vessel. Now vessel is taken in different context with respect to angiosperm. Vessel here is considered as a cover, and the word sperma is seed. So in simple words we can say that angiosperms are plants with the covered seeds. These are again flowering plants, means phanerogams. They have seeds enclosed within fruits. Actually, enclosed within fruits means what? This angion, that is vessel or cover, and that cover is enclosing the seeds, and that cover itself is called as a fruit, and hence the name angiosperm is given, that is covered seeded plants, and that cover actually is fruit, that is edible part, and actually these plants are producing this edible part for protection of seeds, that is one thing, and second thing that it gives fruits to the others. So what they are doing, they are allowing us to eat their fruits, and once we eat the fruit, we are throwing the seeds and these seeds are germinating. Means these angiospermic plants are mediating us to disperse their seeds over a long distance, and that is one of the important factors of their lifespan, that they are employing human beings to disperse their seeds. Very interesting. Flowers are the most attractive part of any angiospermic plant. It adds to the beauty of these plants. Flowers are the characteristic features of angiosperms. Flowers attract insect and birds and help in pollination. So different type of pollinations can be seen. Insect pollination is there, that is called as a entomophily. Then wind pollination is there, that is called as a anemophily. Then pollination by birds is there, that is called as a ornithophily. Different types of mechanisms are there. If pollination is taking place with the help of water, that is called as a hydrophily. Then reproduction is sexual type, but asexually by stem cutting, air layering, even we can produce angiosperm. These undergoes double fertilization and endosperms are formed. Endosperm in angiosperm is triploid in nature because it is maternal as well as paternal. Maternal tissue is diploid and paternal tissue is haploid. When diploid and haploid tissue comes together, it develops endosperm, and because of involvement of diploid plus haploid cell, it becomes diploid, and that is endosperm of angiosperms. Angiosperms are further divided into dicots and monocots. For example, peas, sunflower, these are dicots, and maize, that is monocot. Now dicot means what? There are two cotyledons and two cotyledons are covering embryo, where the maize is single cotyledon. Maize, jawar, wheat, bajra, these are with single cotyledon. They are covering embryo. Angiosperms are the most evolved group of the whole plant kingdom. This is very important point, because as you can see, it starts from algae, then bryophytes, then pteridophytes, then gymnosperms, then angiosperm. But there is no any another group developed after angiosperm, so that it is said that it is most evolved group of the whole plant kingdom. Angiosperms provide us with all crop plants that used as food, fodder, medicine, many different uses you can see of angiosperms. These are economically very important of all other plants. So angiosperms are economically most important plants. We have to learn this chapter of angiosperm and gymnosperm in detail. That time we can go through it. In this slide you can see few of the economically important parts of the angiospermic plants. Here is the rose flower is given, which is economically and medicinally important. This is mango, where fruit is economically important, which is used to make byproducts like pickle and many more. Here jawar seeds are shown. These jawar seeds are economically important because this is a cereal crop and this is important staple food of the whole world. Highest and highly used seeds of angiosperms, that is jawar. Here wood is economically important part, which is generally used to make a good quality furniture. Here the rhizome of ginger is shown, which is medicinally important, economically important. It is used in many medicinal preparations and byproducts. Here leaves of angiosperms are shown. Coriander is example, and these leaves are used as a cooking spice. So many more such millions of different examples of angiosperms are there, which are economically very important. These angiosperm is a kind of group which is fulfilling all the needs with respect to food, fodder, clothes, shelter, and all the primary needs of the human beings and all other organisms are coming from the angiosperms. So this is one of the important group is to be studied. So when this chapter will come in the syllabus, we will study all the details with respect to their growth, sporophyte, pollination, fertilization, development of embryo, economic importance in detail. But with respect to this chapter, this much information is sufficient. Thank you one and all.